Let's make my fruit punch table runner using only a single charm pack. Now also feel free to expand on this pattern if you would like to make it into a larger quilt size. But with your charm pack, you are going to select 10 5-inch squares and subcut them into 2.5-inch squares. Now you will get 4 2.5-inch squares per each 5-inch square. Then with 10 5-inch squares, you are going to then trim them down to a 4.5-inch square. Now you can trim just the edges, or you can place a 4.5-inch square ruler in the center and trim all around. Either way, just go ahead and trim them down. Then lastly, you are going to take 20 5-inch squares and subcut them into 2.5-inch by 4.5-inch rectangles. Now you will get two 2.5-inch by 4.5-inch rectangles per each 5-inch square. But once everything is cut, you're then going to select 4 2.5-inch squares, 4 2.5-inch by 4.5-inch rectangles, and one 4.5-inch square, all in mixed prints, and form the block below. Then you're going to sew them together to form rows, and then lastly sew those rows together to complete an 8.5-inch square quilt block. Now all you have to do is repeat these steps until you've made a total of 20 quilt blocks. Once all of your quilt blocks are completed, you will lay each block side by side in a 2x5 block layout. Then as always, sew those blocks together to form rows, and then lastly sew those rows together to complete your table runner. And here is what my fruit punch table runner looks like all finished. For the backing, I am using leftover yardage scraps that I have pieced together, all from the same collection. And then as for the thread choice, I am going with pumpkin seed from Glide Threads. And here is what my quilt looks like all quilted. I've actually designed a new edge-to-edge quilt pattern, which I will have linked down below in the description. And one charm pack will yield you a 16-inch by 40-inch table runner that you can whip up in a few hours. Now I do hope you have enjoyed today's tutorial. If you could please take a moment to hit that like and subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can be notified for your next amazing quilt project.